Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry
Yes.
weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti, and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
I'm hanging on your every word. The love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound. 'Cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground.
Good morning, and good morning. Yes, I know you're like, okay, how many more promo commercials are we going to show, right? I know, but you know what? They help pay the bills. They help pay the bills. So we have to, we have to give them their props, give them their, their luxury there. But I hope you got a lot out of it, especially help healing humanity. That is my sponsor. My brain, well, it's not my brainchild, it's a wonderful other lady's brainchild, but they are helping so many people, and you're going to be seeing more of that, more of their commercials, and them really helping out. Even helping out Hades a lot lately, and you know what happened there recently. So they're really doing like the extra. I mean, they're out there on site, and that's when I really resonate with nonprofit organizations, that I see what they're doing. It's one thing to say, okay, I'll give you some money, send it in online. And then it's like, okay, where's the money going? What they doing? I don't know what they do. Did they say anything? Did they even set a picture of what they're doing? But with Help Humanity, you see them everywhere. They go on live. They show you exactly what they're doing to help others. And I love them for that. So yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of them. And I'll be bringing in the person that's over the whole thing in a few more weeks. So I'm very excited about that. So hopefully this Friday you are rocking it. It is Friday. And you know what? You should be really rocking it every day. You know me. I'm going to get on my little soapbox. People, they talk about Mondays. I'm like, no, don't do Mondays, because I am really the stickler about Mondays, saying, Mondays are good. Mondays are great. And then we go into the whole week, and then we're here for Friday, right? And then we enjoy our Fridays, get some things done before the end of the week, and, just kind of just relax a little bit, whatever you're doing. If you're working from home, if you're working, outdoors. I know some people, we're still with this whole, and I don't even want to say the word right now, but we know what we're all dealing with. But you know what? I don't say dealing with. We're working through it, right? We're working through it. We're doing things. Say, look at right now. I'm about to bring on a fabulous, wonderful, inspirational, motivational queen. And I'm telling you, every time I bring the queens on, I get like a little kid. I do, because I love interviewing royalty. I love interviewing, especially women, because that attracts me, because I like to help women get that visibility. People know who they are, and they stand their ground, because they do so much. Us as women, hey, I love the men. Don't get me wrong, I love men, but I love helping the women, because we stand strong together. It is so important to stand strong together than just separate. So this is really why I brought this platform, up to fruition, because I want to make sure that I can give that particular stage to, I invite everybody, but when the women come, I just get excited. So yes, we are going to bring this wonderful, spectacular lady on. Her name is Miss Marilyn Gilbert-Mitchell. Even the name sounds like it should be in lights. I'm telling you. I was looking at it, I was like, I like that. That goes together. And she is, well, she's going to tell you, we're going to get just a little bit deeper in, what she does. But she's a speaker, a professional speaker. Let me stand back. She's a coach. She's a CEO of her own company. Yes, I said it, CEO of her own company. And she's part of what I'm a part of too, the Comeback Champ conference that's coming up in October. So she's going to talk a little bit about that, but I really want to talk a lot about her, You know, it's one thing to say, okay, you're doing this. But when you get to know and build a relationship with a person, that's when everything comes together. And that's when you can say, you know what? I think I like Marilyn. Now I want to work with her or I want to be one of her clients. Hint, 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 hint. So with that said, but you know what? We can't bring our royalty, just be like, pop, she's on the screen, right? No, we got to bring her in right. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to bring in right, and then we're going to get to talk to this queen. Here we go. There she is.
Good morning.
I was like, what just happened? Hello, Queen.
Good morning, Queen. Oh, that was amazing and so unexpected. You have me grinning from ear to ear. I said, who did that?
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear, that you were happy. You had a smile on your face. You know what? That just made my day. See, I'm good for the rest of the day now. I'm good. I'm good. No one else can do anything for me. You can fit it. So Miss Marilyn, I am so happy that you were able to come on the show and just hear my call, because, you know, the call came in really through Comeback Champ. And it's funny because she kind of surprised me that day when he said, okay, Barbara, just tell him what you, and I was like, I said, he didn't call me, he didn't text me, he didn't tell me I was going to do this. I said, no, y'all have to be ready. So
that's right.
I put the call out, and I'm getting queens, and you are a wonderful royalty. And Marilyn, I just want to say too that I don't know what time it is on your end. Are you Eastern time or are you?
No, I'm Central.
Okay, so you're same time as me. We're good. I know some ladies, they come on, they're like Pacific time, and they're like, okay, Barbara, it's 6 in the morning. I was like, ooh.
No, we're together.
We're together. Yay, that's even better. So Marilyn, before we start this, you know, having a conversation, because I always say, you know, interview sounds so like, okay, here's an interview. You know, stiff. There you go. But I like to say, just having a conversation. Just talk, like I'm in your living room right now. We just having that, you know, queen to queen talk.
Yes.
Well, where are you from? Where are you from, lady?
Born and based in Chicago, Illinois. Love it, love it. This is my city. This is my home. Love to travel, but this is where I will stay.
OMG, Marilyn. You know, I live in Wisconsin.
Oh, we real close. We're neighbors.
I know. As soon as you said Chicago, I'm like, what?
You can look out your window and I see you. How you doing?
Yes. And usually, you know what? This is just like an extra now, because usually when I interview a lot of people, you know, they're in all different states, kind of, you know, far away. I think the closest person I talked to that was they live in Michigan, but way in Michigan somewhere. Mm-hmm. And you are the first that I have interviewed that is close to me, to the point where, you know, when things get a little bit better, whatever, you know, what's going outside of there, we could get together. Yes.
Absolutely.
I could drive in. I have a reason to go back to Chicago for a minute.
Come on.
Oh my God. So that is wonderful. So Marilyn, I know that we're going to talk a little bit, you know, just before about the Comeback Champ a little bit, but I always tell people the biggest thing is, and I don't care if it's a relationship between you trying to get a client or a business partner, collaboration, or whatever, it's always good to build that relationship. You kind of agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So when you work with people, meet people, interact with people, you never know what that moment will do to the rest of their lives. So absolutely, I agree with you.
Yes, you do. And I like when I know some people when I meet it, I like that automatic click sometimes. Like, you know how you meet a person and you feel like you've been knowing them for like forever and you just kind of met them like maybe an hour ago or something. You like, this is something different. This is like, we have this vibe. And I always tell people, when you have that vibe with somebody, you need to keep them. That's like a special gift in your life. because a lot of times, you got to meet, you got to keep meeting, talking to them for a while, get to know. But when you meet like that chemistry, it's like that's like the extra. So Miss Marilyn, tell us a little bit, about you. Now I know, I mentioned, you just awesome coach. You're the professional, international, put it out there, speaker, and you're a CEO of your company. But before all that, how people say, before we got to this point, what made you, I know there's that backstory. So tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. And so my story starts probably in a strange place because I am a second generation educator and my youngest daughter makes the third generation. And so my family was always go to school, graduate. It wasn't optional. It was you are going, and it was nothing wrong with that. I was fine with that. It was just look at what's around you, and that is what you will do. And so when I went to college, I was young. I tell students now, and I work with students in a different capacity, but I tell them we didn't have options. It wasn't, I want to go here and I would like to do here. It was your parents saying, you're going here. Let's fill this out and let's go. And you just said, okay. And so that is one of the moments that I like to call milestone moments. These are moments that shift and shape your life, whether in whatever direction it goes. But these are moments that when you look back over your life as you get older and more seasoned, and you think about what are the most pivotal times in my life. And so growing up with education being paramount, with excellence being the standard, and all of that pushed me away from education. But like Jonah, I'm a woman of faith. And so like Jonah in the Bible, it was, okay, you keep running, but you can't hide. And so I went into education, did that, was a classroom teacher in Chicago, definitely a neighborhood inner city school. And what shifted my mind was seeing students not even know what options were out there, right? Not knowing what their options were because they only heard what mama, auntie, cousin, sister, and what the neighborhood and TV told them their options were. Be a basketball player, athlete, be a musician, or be on TV of some sort. And that was really it. So that pushed me to want to find ways to help students excel. And that came for me through the vehicle of college, exposing them to college, working with first generation students, mostly students of color, working with families because I saw it as a family environment, a family experience. And so all of those things pushed me to want to find solutions to problems instead of telling students what they couldn't do and what their families couldn't afford, was to find ways to make it work. And so that is what I've done for the last 23 years. And then that shifted for me when I noticed all of the inequities, which I knew were there, but on a national, global scale, seeing how students generationally were affected by the lack of education, the lack of information, the lack of resource, the lack of motivation. All of those things just made me want to do something about it. And so in my growing up with my mother, from both my parents are from Mississippi, deep South, and knowing that can one person make a difference? Absolutely they can. And now, so my career shifted from me working for a school to now working with students, families across the country, because I didn't want to be limited by the box of I'm from Chicago. I can only work with students that are in Chicago. So that segued into now, as I'm in an older part of my life, is to look at how to help more people. And that is through the art of speaking, through the art and science of speaking and reaching people who normally I may not be able to touch, but through speaking, I now have access to. So that leads me to one of my most pivotal messages of transitions. So most of what I speak about, most of what I talk about, most of what I share, whether I'm working with students or adults, senior citizens or family members, is about transitions and how do we go through them successfully, because they are absolutely part of life. So from working with students from middle school, elementary school, high school, and I was even a college professor for a little while, putting all of that together means that we have to help people to go through transitions and come out with success and not just go through them and come out bitter. We want to come out better. And as I like to say, we don't want the same lesson twice, right? If you fail life's tests, you end up having a repeat. So who wants to take the same test again that you didn't like the first time?
I know. Marilyn, I was thinking when you said repeat, I had to do one class, just one class when I was in high school. I repeated just one class. And I was because I was grooving. I said, I don't want to do no repeat of nothing. Well, that one class happened. I was like, dang, I was trying to get away from that. So I know what you mean by, why do it a second time? And sometimes, Marilyn, as we know in life, we could do it a third repeat.
Absolutely.
The second part, yeah. So,
absolutely.
Ooh, lady, I mean, just, first of all, that's awesome. I mean, what you're doing, and I'm loving how with the education, because out of everything, and you know that I know you know this, Marilyn, because you're in it with the education. It is so important out of everything else that you do to get. Because one thing that they say is, people can do certain things, but they can't take away this from you.
Absolutely.
They can't take that away. And you are a pivot in that to help, especially, all different levels. I mean, you're talking about ranging from, like children all the way to high school to college. So I'm loving what you do. Now, question. Now now we got to throw this in because I'm not letting none pass here when it comes to putting you on this, you said professor. you are also I wrote down soon. You said, I said, professor. We need to put that out there. So everybody, you're listening right now. She's not only a CEO or a coach. She's not only a coach. She's not only a transition professional strategist. I'm putting that out there. She's not only a professional international speaker and help people with speaking and communication, but she's a professor.
Well, let me clarify. I'm not anymore. I was for several years. And the interesting thing was, and people laugh when I say this, is that I've taught students from 12 to 61. My oldest student was 61. And I used to sit in the room and sit in the audience and just listen to students talk, right? And they would say, oh, she's not coming. Who is she? And all of this. I'm not staying. And then when the time came, I would walk up to the front of the room and sit down and introduce myself. And what I learned is I am so passionate about the underdog. I just really am, about people who are not expected to do great, who are underappreciated, who are left out and not thought about and not considered. Oh my goodness, that feeds my passion. That's why I love working with students in underserved areas, students who may be from neighborhoods where they don't get resources, where they don't get information because adults or other people have decided what their limitations and boundaries should be. That just makes me want to get in there and help them out. And yeah, you keep sleeping on them, whether that's students, whether that's parents, whether that's families, whether that's older people. And I've looked at even in going into business, right? How do you go into business in the fall of your life? You do it. You do it. You make the transition, you shift, you go after what you want, and you make it happen. And so that is such a central focus of what I do. And it's not just for students, but I've seen Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon that we have to change the world. And that's not just book education. That's what you talked about through networking. That's through meeting people of different backgrounds, faiths, and cultures, which is why I love to travel. I cannot wait for this season to be over with so I can go back to traveling internationally, because when you travel, you learn, you grow, you expand what the possibilities are. And you just push my passion button, and it's got me all excited this early in the morning. So
you go. I'm loving it.
Let me calm down. Okay.
Well, while you coming, just a little bit, just count this a little bit, because I'm loving the passion. And that's what I'm always talking about. When you have that passion in you and that purpose, because you could tell. I call it PPD, your purpose, passion, and drive. And that's like, to me, your foundation, because everything going on, everything going on right now, you know, the pandemic and all this stuff that we're dealing with. And we still have that passion. And that's what I'm saying. You have to move past what's going on so you can still help others and help what you're doing. And you're still doing that. And I'm loving how you're doing in the inner cities and helping because they need it. They need to have that. You're that lighthouse to them. See, you're that open door. You are. You're that open door that shows, you know, with a lighthouse, you know, people looking in their search and all of a sudden they see this lighthouse. They're like, oh, okay, there's hope. There's somewhere we can go. There's a direction. There's a focus. That's what you do. That's what you do for them.
Bless you.
So I just want to let you know that. And just, now you got me because I just felt that all right around here, right in my heart. I had to let you know that because, you know, we have to encourage each other. We definitely have to encourage each other, especially now. I mean, there was no excuses before, but there's definitely no excuses now. We have to be there for each other. You know, I know you said you can't wait to go back and travel. And I'm like, yeah, I love to travel too, Marilyn. I really do. And I was just thinking, I mean, we've been traveling through Zoom. You know, that's taking the place a little bit. But like you said, when you got to do that in-person travel and get to really just get on, you know, a different land and just look around and just meet people and learn their cultures and learn what they do and just sit and talk to them, you know. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. So Missy, now do you have I know you have children. How many children you have?
I have by birth 2 children, 31 and 26. 31. And I'm a grandmother. And I'm a grandmother. But by life, I have hundreds of children. All of the students, grandchildren, godchildren, students that I've mentored over the years, students that have attached themselves to me, and I can't get rid of them because I don't want to. So yes, my village is a little larger, but my birth children are too, with my grandbaby.
Wow. So congratulations for your wonderful children and then your grandbaby. Oh my God. I'm looking, because when you said 31 and 26, I'm like, okay, she's only in her 30s. Like, you know.
Bless you. Bless you.
So you're looking good. So now you need to know, you got to give me some of that potion because I'm in my 50s and I'm like, I don't want to look like, you know. And everybody says, okay, Barbara, what does really 60 look like? It depends on you. And I said, you know what? You're right. I have to rephrase that because I know a lot of people, especially women, they're in their 60s, 70s, and they look good. I mean, you would never
absolutely
that they're in that age range. And so, yeah. So, but see, this is what happens because see, you're already, you know, like you're a teenager right now. And and you working and helping people, that keeps, you know, with the wisdom and helping others and everything like that, that keeps us going. I feel like that keeps us moving and feeling energy. And then as we grow, as we get more wisdom, as we go older, I say more wisdom, we're getting more wisdom in life, that it's just there. I mean, you know, we have it. We don't have to worry about saying, oh, we're getting old. No. We're just start living our second life.
Absolutely.
And what you're doing. So
absolutely.
So Marilyn, so now when you were younger, when you were, you know, like when we were little kids and stuff, was this like your passion you were thinking about, you know, with all the education, were you thinking about doing something else? I always
absolutely not. As I mentioned, I had a Jonah moment. My mother was a teacher for almost 50 years. My father was a teacher. Aunts and uncles were teachers. I was running from education as fast as I could. I had graded enough papers for my mother. I had gone to her school enough time. I had to stay after school and help her enough. I said, oh no, this will not be my life. And so I did. I was in corporate America for almost 10 years and did some other things. And then when my Jonah moment came, okay, this is what you were born to do. This is what you were created to do. This is what you were gifted to do. Stop running. And so that is when I went into education and just said, okay, yes, Lord, okay, I'm coming. And I started on the college level. And then I saw how students were coming in. And I said, well, what if I could get to them sooner? What if I could help them? And so my high school principal from the school I graduated from in high school, he recruited about 8 of us to leave our other places of employment and come back to our high school to help rebuild it. And so about 8 of us took that charge, left our careers, came back to the high school to help rebuild it. And most of us stayed there for at least 10 years or more in that effort to do that. And so, yes, education was not my first choice, was not something I saw myself doing when I was younger. But once I said yes and stepped into it, I saw how, and let me say this, teaching is hard. And I think parents and everyone saw that during the pandemic when they had to school their own children. So I hope that this shifts how people think about teaching and education. But what I did, it helped me to see it's something that wasn't as hard as it was for other people because it was part of what I had been gifted to do. And so that just branched off into how can I help students more? How can I make the path easier for them? And what I love about what even just the title of your show, the Diamond Factor Experiences, diamonds are not as pretty as what we see in the store, right? Diamonds are in dirt. Diamonds are deep. You have to get it. It's not just on the surface saying, hello, I'm here. And that's what I love about when we speak, when we teach, when we share, when we present, when we share what we have been gifted or given to do, is that we find people, we find places, we find opportunities where we can help that shine come out, where we can help it bust through. And so that people can see not what it was, but what it could be and what now it is. And it becomes this reminder of everyone has this gift. Everyone has a gem inside of them. And so you may be a diamond, I might be a pearl, a ruby, a tanzanite, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We can look differently, but we can still impact the world. And so that is what my mission is. That is what I seek to do. And I no longer doubt whether one person can make a difference. My goal now is how can I make enough difference to reach enough people that I leave a legacy, not just for my family, my biological family, but for the world and the global community. So I hope that answers your question, and that I wanted to make sure that I put in what I saw. When I saw the diamond factor on the screen, I saw the color purple for royalty. I saw diamonds and the process that it goes through. And that just reminded me that we're all here for a purpose, and we have to make sure that we don't waste that and die with the purpose inside of us that doesn't help people. That makes me always remember who does not get what they need because I have not done what I'm supposed to do. Who's waiting on me, who's waiting on my message, who's waiting on what I have been given to share, and they are waiting for me. And they missed their opportunity. They missed their next level because I failed to move forward.
Ooh, I can't say nothing on that one. I mean, you said so much. And if I come back and say whatever, that just messes up the whole. It's like, no, just
come on, Queen. You got it. You got it. We all need a hot sauce and some seasoning in our life. Come on and throw some on there. I know it's there.
No, it was hot. That was hot. It was like, ooh, I felt bad. Marilyn, no, Queen, that was good. That was good. See, sometimes I tell people that's why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth, because a lot of times you sit back and you listen to royalty like that. You listen to people that are knowing, giving you that wisdom, giving you that knowledge, so you can take notes. And I have took notes. See, I'm taking notes. So
look, we're in this together.
We both got the notes. And I love how you said you were fighting it. At the end when you're young, you said I wasn't the last thing I was thinking about, because I see all my parents and everybody doing it, so I'm doing the opposite. And then you came right around full circle to it, bam. And look what you're doing now. You are just this impactor in people's lives. And I loved how you said that. And see, this is something that we have to learn from you. What you said is that, you have your birth children, but you have a whole slew of other, children of different ages, because they were drawn to you. You helped them transition. You gave them something, like I said, that lighthouse, and they don't want to let you go. That's why that's the power. That's powerful. So, lady, yes, we need you. They need you. More and more is coming your way because they need that. They need to see that, okay, I can move, I can do this. I can, get that knowledge. I can get that because, Marilyn told me I can do it. And sometimes, just like you said, it takes one person come in your life and say, look, you can do this. I can help you through this, and take the time to help them through it. That's important. Now, I want to ask you a question just a little bit. I hate to bring it up, but it's here. With the pandemic, how have you been working, with, the children and everything? Because I know us, we can't, we couldn't go to schools, or you couldn't go to certain, places because we had to stay in and everything. How was you really working that with what you do with your company?
Thank you. So for the past 19, 20 months or so, of course, it all shifted to virtual. And so that's the good/bad part of it. The good part is it got me to work with students now across states. So I've been working with students in Texas and California and Ohio and Florida and just other places that normally I may not have had access to. The bad part of that means that I miss the in-person energy that you get from working with people directly, right? Being in their space, their physical space, of being able to be near them. However, there are virtual platforms that you can get some of that, but it's still not the same, not as equal for me. I'll only speak for me. And so that is what I've been doing. I've been doing monthly events for students. And let me also add, though, so a lot of my work is with students and families, but when it comes to speaking, that work is for high school through senior citizens. Because what I've also seen in working with students and families, because I approach college as a family experience, a family journey, is that the adults in the life, parents, aunties and uncles and godparents and all of them, they are also affected, sometimes positively and sometimes not, by a student's decision to move on with their life. Whether that is to go to college. So a single mother may have transition anxiety because their child is now leaving, with everything going on in the world. If they're going out of state, the parents have worry. Some parents are concerned that their students are not ready to make those transitions, that they may not be as responsible or have self-advocacy skills, or a lot of those other non-academic skills that people don't always talk about. It could be grandparents and family members who may be older and experiencing sickness, and the student feels pulled on whether I go and do what I want to do with my life, or whether I have family responsibility and obligation. So it is not just about students. And as I've seen over the last few years, my shift has grown and expanded to include adults, right? Are you 40 and are you transitioning to a new job or a new career? Are your students now gone, your young people gone, and you're an empty nester? So how do I do that when I've spent the last 20 years, 25 years pouring into my children and my family? Now what do I do? Because the things that I liked in my 20s are not the things that I like in my 40s. Or my 50s. And so that opens up the door to how do we help a whole new set of people. As an example, I was talking to a parent that I was working with, her and her son, and she said, I want my child to go to college, but I am so scared. And so we had to talk privately, parent to parent. And that's where all of my background comes in, right? Parent to parent. I've been through this. I've seen it happen with students. And she just was nervous about letting her Black male son go away to college with everything going on in the world. And that's not just COVID related. And so she was concerned also about being alone.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everyone in my neighborhood know that I'm by myself now, that I don't have my son here to protect me or to take care of me, or, what happens when he's no longer here. And so we had to talk through that and say, you can be nervous, but don't block it. Don't block your student from going and experiencing life. And whatever you've poured into him all these years is still in there. So now I've seen how the topic of transitions just permeates so many areas of my life. And that's why it's a focal part of my speaking business.
Yes, I'm loving that, because every person has a different, like you said, a different situation when they're transitioning to whatever they're transitioning to. Like you said, you have, people coming from, school, and now they're getting into the world of the world of business or whatever they're going to do. Then you have the empty nesters where their child is leaving, and they're like, okay, now what do I do? And they might want to go back to school. You never know. So you have to look at that And then you got the older people. I mean, you got people in their 60s stuff going back to school and doing college stuff and just out there just doing their thing and being those CEOs. So that's a tall taking, and you're taking all of that. See, that's what I'm talking about. And then you know what you said? I gotta correct. You said used to be professor. No, you are and always will be. Okay. Don't say because that's a title that you had that's helped and impact. So no.
Yes.
I'm Professor Marilyn.
I received that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just have to go back.
Well, let me add from a business standpoint, though, what I've also found is there are benefits to being connected to organizations and institutions, but there are often different benefits from being independent.
Yeah.
That you can do things differently. You can be your true, authentic self without apology, that you can use your experiences and resources in a way that may not be available when you are under the umbrella of an organization or an institution. And so in part of this conversation is how do you take everything that you go through in life and you use it in a way that pushes you forward. Even your ouches have lessons.
Yeah.
And we go back to, do you want the same lesson twice? Do you want the same class twice? I hope not. But I will admit, being hard-headed, I have taken the same thing in life summer school, life evening school.
I went to night school. Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that I have had to repeat some lessons to where I don't want to do that again at this stage of life.
Yeah. I'm with you right there, Queen. I had to do night school. It was like I went to day school and night school. I was like, oh my God, the whole day is just school. I was like, what did I do? But like you said, those are the ouch moments where you say, do I want to do this again? This is not feeling good.
Right.
So yeah, you do it. But I even look back at that, like you just said, Marilyn, even with the ouch moments, I like that ouch moments. You still getting something out of it. In fact, sometimes you get even more. And that's what moves you to those next levels in life. I always say stepping stones of strength that get you to that next level. So, and I see it, all the time in everybody when they be like, Dad, I gotta go through this again. Or, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I say, you know what? Take it as stepping stones of strength. Just take it as that. That kind of eases it hopefully a little bit. And then when you look back, you be like, wow, I got through this, and this. Even I had to do it twice. So, Ms. Marilyn, I want to just go into the Comeback Champ conference that's coming up. And I know both of us are a part of it. And how did you kind of just say to yourself, on top of everything else you do, all the list of stuff and helping everybody and being an impactor, now you're part of a conference. So just tell us a little bit how you got to that point, that road.
So I was invited to be part of the Comeback Champions group. And for me, just first of all, the title, it fits so well with what I'm already doing in terms of transitions and how do you come out successfully and how do you handle that? And sometimes it's just about taking advantage of the opportunities when they come, right? We pray for things, we ask for things, we put it in the universe, whatever you believe. And then when it comes, we're not ready, right? Who goes to the basketball court without a ball, right? There are some basic things that you have to have in order to take advantage of the opportunity. So I have been preparing for things and putting things in motion. And when I saw the invitation, I said, oh, this is absolutely yes. And I've heard people say things like, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I do agree with that to some level, but I also want to add that I believe that failure is a part of life. And that anybody who tells you things like failure is not an option and we don't fail, we excel. And I've heard all these cute little mantras that people have, but that's not realistic. We all fail at something. And so that drew me to the Comeback Champions group because one, to come back means you went somewhere. So you took a chance. You stepped out. You went somewhere. I don't care if it was 2 steps. You went somewhere. And you came back. Maybe you came back to do it again. Maybe you came back to do it better. Maybe you came back to grab somebody else and take them with you because you left them behind. it just had so many power-packed messages inside of it. And then once I met Che Brown and go through all of that, and I saw his passion and what he was doing and what his mission was. And you mentioned earlier that when you connect with people, and because I'm a woman of faith, I believe that spirit connects with spirits. And so that can be good or bad. And in this case, it was definitely good that you meet people and you see what their heart is, you see what they're doing, you see where they're moving, and you say, I want to be part of that. I want to connect with that. And that's how I met you, right? So you keep saying, yes, this is working. This is a good connection, because why? Fruit comes from trees planted in good soil. Yes. And that's how you know things are good. If the tree is not growing and producing fruit, you should probably move.
Yes.
You should probably change planters or find another yard to be planted in. And that's how I became part of the Comeback Champions group. And what I loved is, 1, is free. 2, it's about reaching people. 3, the topics are so broad that everybody can get something. It's like Thanksgiving dinner. You might not like everything on the table, but oh my goodness, you can eat something and get full. And so I'm excited to be part of it, excited for the connections that I have made and those that I will make, and most excited about the impact that all of us individual people, that when we pool together and are collective, we make a much stronger impact on the world. And I just believe that everything we do, it should either be something that aligns with us, that it aligns with what we want to do, who we want to be, and the impact we want to make, or it's really a waste of our time and our space. And so I am very proud to be part of the Comeback Champion Summit. I hope that people go get their tickets after they watch this at comebackchampionsummit.com, and that they invite other people, because who wants to win alone? Winning is better with friends. You have to travel with somebody. When we get together, whether Wisconsin or Chicago, then we'll be able to put a more personal connection on the one that we've already started. So yes. And if you could tell me about what drew you to Comeback Champions, because I know when I saw your smile, I said, oh yes, I was in the chat. Remember, I sent you a message.
Yeah.
Said, how you doing?
And I shot it real quick. I said, okay, somebody. But no,
like a kid, I made a new friend.
Yeah, I was like a little kid. I said, "Ooh, yeah." And then I thanked Che Brown so much. I said, "Thank you for letting me do that, so I can, get the queens and get the kings on here." But yeah, this is my third. Yeah, that's my third time being a part of the Comeback Champ. I just was drawn through another, like you said, all these collaborations. Because I don't know if you know Kern Cherry. She's like the queen of the, which they always say, she puts the butts in the seats when it comes to events. She's like that lady that says, I get people to come. And she and Che Brown know each other. And she brought Che Brown on her platform, and he talked to us about sales and marketing. You know how he does. He like energized money for life. Yes. I'm like, I said, Che, can I get some of that? But he's just awesome in that area. So we know as soon as I seen him, I was like, okay. And then he mentioned, I got a Comeback Champ conference, and if you want to be a part, I was like, sign me up. Because seeing him, if that's just a sliver of what it's all about with him, being that, the main person, I said, yeah, I'm ready. I said, I gotta do this. And I've been clinging to it ever since. I told him one day, I said, Che, no matter if you do 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, I'm still probably won't be going on and on. As you're going to kick me out, be like, Barbara, okay, it's time. You got to go.
Oh, goodness.
And he just laughed. He said, I won't kick you out. He said, I'm not kick you. But yeah, and I'm just glad, because every time I'm part of it, I just meet people like you, and then we come and collaborate, bring you on the show, get that visibility going. People get to know who you are in that relationship building. And, you never know what's going to come from that. Even through what we're doing now. I don't always say this is it. Okay, we got you. So, okay, Marilyn, that was nice to know you. No. It don't work that way. So you might be, I'm one of them children on the coattail of you right now. You'd be like, okay, Barbara, just hold on a little bit.
Come on.
I'll be doing this. You'll be like, who is that doing this? Oh, that's Barbara. Oh, that's Barbara. Can you at least let me straighten up?
Oh my goodness.
You'd be like, yeah, the mothers and the children, they be holding on to dear life, and they'd be like, okay, you can hold on, but you're bringing me down here.
Right, right.
So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to you, Queen. I'm gonna hold on to you. So this has been such a, and I feel bad because I'm taking a lot of your time and enjoying you so much. I was like, dang, I took more time. I know it's supposed to be 20, 30 minutes. I said, let's get upset.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
I said, I'm getting away with this. So let's keep it moving.
No, definitely. What I believe that when you meet people and you have a message that you want to get out, and definitely when you feel a connection with people, you don't end until it's done. I don't mean forever. I just mean for this exact moment that we're in. And so, yes, however long you want me, however long we're doing this, then I'm here for you, because we have to do more partnerships and collaborations. Definitely in the world that we live in, and that has always been some of these same problems, I will add. But I think now people are, especially people of color, are not only just recognizing, but being very aggressive about, we have to stick together. We have to work together. It's not to the exclusion of anyone. It's to the inclusion of what we have within us and how we can use that to move forward. Yeah, so definitely I'm here for it all.
Well, lady, before we we do close here, I want to make sure, because I always want to make sure the guests give those last thoughts to the listeners. So I'm going to take myself down just for a few seconds, and I want you to just spread some more of that wonderful wisdom to them. Anything that you want to, leave for someone out there.
Thank you so much for this experience, Barbara. This has been so enjoyable, and I am just so thankful for you. So first of all, I just want to honor you and pray that God blesses you to do the work that you are doing to reach people and to make change, not only in mind, body, but also in spirit. So what I want to leave you with today is that we all have these moments. We all have these moments that I call milestone moments, whatever they are. And so they shape us, they shift us, they move us through periods of transition. So whatever we're going through, even those ouch moments, they have a purpose. And our goal is to move through them so that we can share and we can help someone else have less ouch moments. So whatever those things are, whether it is things that help us, whether things that have hurt us in our lives, whatever those moments are, that we just take a second, we think about them, we find the lesson in them, and we move on so we don't have to repeat them, because life is a series of moments. Life is a series of transitions, and we only get one life. So when it is over, we don't want to leave things undone. And there's a quote that's around that says, there is one place in this world that is the richest place, the place that has more money, the place that has more opportunities and resources. And that richest place in the world is the graveyard, because that is where people let their dreams die, their impact die, let their experiences die. And so I've determined that I'm going to use everything that I have, everything that I've been given, everything that I've experienced, so that I can make life better, not only for my immediate family, but for everyone that I come in contact with through my circle of connections. So be well. I wish you well. And I hope that whatever you want to do, that you don't allow anybody to stop you from doing it, because you have milestone moments that can make major moves.
Mm-hmm. So well put, Queen. I'm a loss for words now. That's I'm telling you, I like to sit in that, and I want people to sit in that too. And I want people to reach out to Miss Queen, Miss Marilyn, the professor, the speaker, the coach, the CEO, the lady that's an impactor to the world. She's helping so many people with knowledge. And that's what it's like I said, what it's about. It's about understanding that knowledge to move forward in the world. So please reach out. I have her website just going below, scrolling below. And I really mean it. People, when I go there, people, my listeners know me, that now that you understand and Marilyn Gilbert-Mitchell, reach out to her. That's the next step. Take some action. Get to know her more. Her services she has. she will welcome you with open arms. And I always say, even if it's not a client type of based thing, it could be a business partnership, or it can be just a friend. You never know how things will go, but you have to take that step. So Marilyn, thank you again, lady, for coming on this morning and just being who you are. You're always welcome to come back. Your family now. If anything that you're doing that you need to say, Barbara, I need to come on and talk about this, or I need to, I'm sponsoring this, or whatever you're doing, or just want to chit chat, I want you to come back. You are a family member now and will always be.
Thank you. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay, you take care.
Okay. Have a good one. Be blessed, everyone.
I'm here.